Hello, everybody. Welcome to Resilience plus Rise, the podcast where we transform adversity into triumphs, illuminate the extraordinary potential within all of us. I'm your host, Thomas Carrier, a resilience coach, an ultra marathoner, and a firm believer in your next most powerful chapter, or that chapter could be opened up now itself. This podcast is a companion to my upcoming book, Resilience plus Rise 26.2 Transformative Miles to Unleash Your Marathon of Life Mindset, coming early 2025. Here we amplify stories of hope, perseverance, and success to inspire your journey. Today's guest. To say I'm excited would be a very low way of saying it. I'm really, really excited. Amberly Lago. Her journey has been from a wheelchair to the TEDx stage.
Hmm.
It is about the inspiration Amberly has continued on her grit and grace. With this, I'm proud to host her. She has been told that she would never be able to walk again. Hit by an SUV, sorry, I'm just excited. Sorry about that. While riding her motorcycle, Amberly faced around 1% chance, just 1% chance of saving her legs. 34 surgeries, comma later, she not only kept her leg but also discovered an unshakable inner strength. What we talk about the resilience and rising above. Anyway, let me not spend more time on that particular introduction. Amberly, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. And what an amazing introduction. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Amberly. So let's directly jump into it. By the way, congratulations on Joy Through the Journey, your book, which is just coming up in a few days.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
It's going to be here soon.
but before we can go into that particular element, as I just spoke, there was a journey that you went through. If you could take the listeners through this particular journey, what was going on in your mind? What changed? What pivoted? And the person that I'm talking to now, who is she?
Well, I had to really kind of discover who I was because my whole world was turned upside down. And I used to kind of think of myself as, oh, well, I am the business owner. I was in the fitness industry. I was sponsored by Nike. I was doing fitness videos and infomercials. And so I always thought, I am the fitness girl. That was who I was. And when I woke up out of a coma and learned that I had a 1% chance of saving my leg from amputation, I thought, well, I'm going to hang on to that 1%. That's going to be my glimmer of hope. And that did get me through surgery after surgery after surgery. And I think sometimes that's all we really need is that glimmer of hope to get us through hard times. It's that little glimmer of joy that we can have that we can build upon despite having pain. And I just really had no idea, though, that I was going to lose my career. I had $2.9 million dollars worth of medical expenses. We had a lien on our house. And now, even though they saved my leg, I was diagnosed with an incurable nerve disease, which still leaves me in constant chronic pain. It's supposedly, incurable, but I'm still trying to do everything I can to somehow get it in remission. I haven't given up on that. But I did have to kind of dig deep and figure out who I was. And I think when you ask me the question, who am I consider myself as someone who likes to shine light in the world, who wants to bring joy to others, especially if they're going through hard times, and who wants to set an example of being resilient for my daughters and of self acceptance. It took a long time for me to accept the way that I look with my leg all scarred up and deformed, and especially going from, the professional dance industry to the fitness industry, now to not even being able to wear tennis shoes because my ankle's fused. I have to wear special boots, which help me walk. And so it's been a real journey of self discovery. And I think that we all have that resilience within us. It comes from the support around us and from deep within us. And I'm just here to happy to share some of the things that I still use every single day to help me overcome challenges and, uh, hitting rock bottom, because this nerve disease and everything did take me down to a place that was scarier and harder than any surgery. And that's when I went from being this elite athlete to using alcohol to self medicate and became a full blown alcoholic. And by the grace of God, I got sober in 2016. And so that sobriety journey has taught me a lot about myself. It's brought me closer to my higher power, who I call God. And it's helped me to be able to share this with others so that they know that they too can, it's never too late to start over or start again or reinvent yourself or go after a new career. I mean, here I am. I'll be 53 next month, and I've just written my second book. I'm going to be on the NASDAQ in Times Square next month in New York. So I share that because sometimes, you think, oh, I'm too old, or it'll never happen, or it's too late for me, or I missed my calling. We can always start again, start over, and rise up.
Beautiful. That was profound.
Hmm.
But let me just take a step back about the time when the accident took place. You were in a coma. You They told that okay, you cannot walk. They have got 1% chance. Of course, the usual mentality is about the denial and this cannot be happening to me. And then once you got into your real senses, okay, it would not be easy. It would be very, very painful. Not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Mhm.
So, if you think back, what were the steps that you took that made you more resilient, that made you take the first step?
Well, I think yes, it is. It's not just physically, but it's, mentally, it's spiritually. And I think so much of it starts with our mindset. And, it's powerful how we can shift our perspective with something as simple as gratitude. And I remember being in the hospital bed and just staring down at my leg, and I didn't sleep because the nurses would have to come and change my bandages every 3 hours, and they would peel these bandages off. And every time they would lift my leg off the bed, because it was broken into pieces, it was like re-breaking my leg every single time they had to lift it off the bed. And I remember one night laying in bed and I started spiraling down into this negative thinking and asking, oh my gosh, what if my husband doesn't love me anymore? What if I die tomorrow? What if, it was getting really, really negative, really dark. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to stop here. I've got a choice. I can either go down that road of despair, or I can focus on what I do have and what I can do. And what really helps you change the way you feel about your circumstances is gratitude. And I say practice gratitude because I know that sometimes when you're going through a really hard time, it can be hard, but there's always something to be grateful for. And so I start my day with gratitude, because still to this day, when I wake up, I'm in pain from the moment I take a step. Sometimes I don't even have to take a step. Sometimes the pain wakes me up in the middle of the night from this crazy, baffling nerve disease I was diagnosed with. And I immediately go to gratitude because I could sit there and go, oh, see, I'm limping. I can't even walk right. Maybe I should just get back in bed. Instead, I say, I am so grateful that I have both my legs, that I can walk, even though it's with a limp, that I have breath, that I have a roof over my head, that I get to see you and get to talk with you today. And the list goes on and on. But I think something that has really helped me continue the gratitude practice is accountability. And so I highly suggest, if you're listening and you're having a hard time practicing gratitude, to find your squad. Like I have a group of ladies, we call ourselves the God Squad, and we text each other every single day 10 things that we're grateful for. And it's one thing to feel grateful, it's another thing to write it down, and it's another thing to share your gratitude with someone and be able to have that community and that accountability, because it
Yes.
really does change the way you feel about your circumstances. And at night, I ask my daughter a couple of questions. I ask her, what was the best thing about today, and what's one thing that you're grateful for? And oftentimes it can be a silly answer, but for the most part, you know what? It gets her in that mindset of gratitude, and how you think before you go to bed affects your next day. And so I think it's very important to, start your day with gratitude and end your day with gratitude. And so that is something that's a simple thing that you can add. It doesn't cost you anything, but it will change the way you think about your circumstances and your situation.
Wow. So, guys, if you're listening to it, I hope you'll have got these particular nuggets about how gratitude can change, not about your moments, but your entire life. How being accountable, having a community that is together, helps you to make a more stronger, resilient you. But a point which came up was that okay, now you have learned on these particular elements of accountability, and but still there would have been time. Okay, you say gratitude, but there would have been times wherein life just gives a kick back onto your ankle, and you say, "Ouch!"
Mhm.
So what
Well,
happens to
Well, yeah, I don't want people to think that I'm over here just going, well, I've just discovered resilience and life is
yes,
easy now. No, life is hard. My husband said that, and I'm like, he would tell my daughter, nobody said life was going to be fair. And I would say, stop saying that. But you know what? He's right. It's true. It, life can bring you moments where you are just lifted higher than you ever thought that you could be. And then there are times when life knocks you right off your feet. And literally, it has knocked me off of my feet. This past year has been really a struggle for me health wise. And I feel like sometimes we take 2 steps forward, and some days I was taking 3 steps back. But the important thing is that you just get up, that you don't give up, that you become unshakable with your spirit, with your mindset, and you do everything you can to be resilient before you actually need to be resilient. And so I think that we have to strengthen our resilience. Um, just like you go to the gym to work out and get stronger muscles, it's something that you need to work on every day. And I work on my mindset every day. So whether it is surrounding yourself with people who are positive, who are empowering, they inspire you, they lift you up, they nudge you to keep going. It's really important to look at the circle of people that you're hanging out with. Are they giving you energy in life, or are they energy vampires? I talk a lot about that in my book, about the importance of your community and and mindset, not just with the gratitude, but thinking positively. And I do something, and I talk about this in the new book. It's, I say, joy spotting, because if we make a point to go out into the world and search for the good and search for the joy, then the more we're going to see the positivity in things, the more we're going to find joy is sparked in our lives, and it's a ripple effect and sparks joy in other people's lives as well. And so these are things that I do. And we lost our dog. It was my therapy dog, and it was unexpected how she passed away. And I was devastated. I had no idea how this little ball of fur could just be give me so much love, unconditional love, and bring so much joy. And after, I discovered her after she had passed, and I couldn't stop crying. And I just wanted to stop crying. I just wanted some joy. And it wasn't like I wasn't acknowledging the pain or the feelings. I acknowledged it, but I thought I need to do some joy spotting, and I need to do what brings me joy. And so we put our Christmas tree up, and I think it's the earliest we've ever put our Christmas tree up because that brought me some joy. Well, then I was still crying, and I thought, you know what? I need to move my body. I need to change my environment. And so I had to get out of the house. I actually went to Home Goods, and I was on a mission to connect with people and smile at them just so they would smile back, hopefully, because I knew that would bring me joy. And so the first thing I saw when I walked into the store was a sign, a wooden sign that said joy. And I was like, okay, that's a God wink. And then everyone that I saw in the store, I smiled at. I asked them how they were doing, and it felt so good to be able to connect. We're not meant to do hard things alone. And I think one of the bravest things that you can do is to reach out. And yes, to ask for help when you need it. That changed my life. That's how I stay sober. But also, if you're feeling down, go reach out and ask how you can serve. Ask how you can help somebody on their journey, and that will bring you joy as well.
Amazing. I remember as it was Viktor Frankl who mentioned there is a space between the stimulus and the response. And that space gives us a choice whether we want to be angry, upset, or fill it with gratitude and joy. Choice is always ours. It's all about the attitude what we put across. And again, Amberly, what you had mentioned about the community, I've been having quite a bit of talks with various amazing personalities, and there has been a thread which has been coming across is about the community. For me, the way I look at it is that we all are angels with one wing. When we hold on to another, that's when we learn to fly.
Mm, that's
So even the
beautiful.
thank you. So the other person also may be hurting, but when we are holding them, they also give us the support. And it goes back to the I think so the old Chinese proverb is that when I was digging my hole, which was filled with despair, I started helping somebody else to taking them out. I forgot about my own
Mm,
pitch or ditch which I was in. So it is all about being of a support. Bible directly says the second greatest command is love your neighbor.
mm,
And how else can we look into building up? We are being put over here as what you have put across, Amberly, is that it has been such a challenge. And it's not that the challenge has been done after you got up and started kind of walking. Now you've got this nerve challenge,
mhm.
and you could still get up cursing and raving and ranting. This gets me to the next point is that you mentioned about gratitude, accountability, seeking pockets of joy, etc. What else could you tell to the people if they have to look out for some elements that makes their life worth living, or feel a sense of feeling that you know what, it's okay, but I will get through? What would those be?
Well, I remember, not that long ago, I was really excited. I was about to be, on the Today Show and the doctors. And I had called my dad and I was like, hey, Dad, they're flying me to New York to do these interviews. And I was so excited. And he said, well, don't forget to enjoy the journey. And that's one of the reasons that I was inspired to write my book, is because life was going really well. And I started to let what I call my non negotiables kind of slip away, like my morning routine, my gratitude practice, moving my body. I was on Zooms back to back to back and really busy traveling. And I started to notice that my health, not just physically, but mentally, was not as joyful. And I got on a call and I had been pushing and pushing and pushing and just gritting it out, and got on a call, and the pain had gotten so bad that it was causing severe brain fog. And I was not, it was like I was in slow motion, and I was trying to get the words out, but I could tell I was fading. I was not well. And I embarrassed myself, and I thought, if we don't have our health, then what are we do? Like, our health is wealth. Our health is the most important thing. And I think if I don't get to keep good health, get to keep my sobriety, get to keep my connection to God, then I don't get to enjoy anything in life. And so I really encourage anyone listening to really ask yourself, what are your non-negotiables? What is it that allows you to thrive, that fills your cup, that really sparks joy in your life? And make sure that you are in alignment with those things. And that's how you're going to have a more fulfilling life, is to remember to enjoy the journey, but really write down, what are your values, what are your non-negotiables, and making sure you stick to those things so you do get to really love the life that you're living. And if you're not, I don't think it's about motivation. I think motivation is kind of fleeting. It may be the spark. It's actually discipline that is the fire. And if you can stay true to yourself and I say, have smart feet, which means, like, I know first thing when I wake up, I'm going to drink my gut health drink. I know I'm going to move my body. If it's not in the morning, it's later on throughout the day. I know that every morning I'm going to write down my gratitude list and share it with my God squad. I know that the first thing that I'm going to do is get on my knees and pray. And there's sometimes I forget, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that. Better get down on my knees and do it right now, wherever I am. And I think that as long as you are sticking to these things that fill your cup, that add value to your life, your health, your mindset, it's going to be more fulfilling. And then I always say, you know what? Remember why you started. Like, ask yourself, what was the point? And we talked before we started recording, and just about, like, I started because I wrote my first book because I thought, if I can share some inspiration and some hope with someone, even if it's one person that reads the book and it changes their life or saves their life, or they think, oh, me too, that I struggle with the same thing, or they're in deep in an addiction, whether it's alcohol or shopping or speed dating or whatever the addiction is, that they can go, you know what, she got over this, she is sober, she got through that addiction, I can too, then it's worth it.
Beautiful. Fantastic. And that's so important about self care. And again, it's written, love one another as you love yourself. We forget that. And as you beautifully put, Amberly, is that if your health is not there, what is the point? Because if you cannot take care of your own self, how would you take care of another one?
Mm-hmm.
If your own cup is empty, how can you fill somebody else's cup? We come to the next point, is that let's talk to Amberly, the author. You got the book coming up. So I believe I've seen your website. It's pre-sales is going on. When is the launch going to be?
Yes, the I did something totally different with this book. So when I was a first time author, I didn't know about a pre-sale launch and a landing page for a book, and I was like, I'm doing it different this year, and I've created fun things. One of the, I think the most fun is, I've created a book club. So you can go to the landing page for the book, and it's go.amberlylago.com/joy. And you get free bonuses. So you're
Yep.
rewarded for when you pre order the book. And then I'm doing a book club because I really want to not just, have fun and spark joy, but it's called the Joy Sparkers Book Club. And it's to
Wonderful.
create connection and community and be able to share insights. And I just decided yesterday, I haven't even announced this yet. You're the first person that's hearing it right now, is I'm doing a virtual book party launch on Zoom. So I'll have that link up on my Instagram for sure. But yeah, I thought I want to have some fun and I want to create that community and let's come together. And so I told my team, I said, yeah, I'm going to do this virtual launch party. And I was like, and I'm going to give away things. I'm going to give away signed copies and limited edition pins and limited edition joy necklaces, gold necklaces. And one of the biggest bonuses is I'm going to give away my Unstoppable Life Mastermind, which is that's a year-long program. And so I'm giving away some goodies to, because I want people to come together and share and connect because I think that is so important. Whether you're on your entrepreneurial journey, your sobriety journey, or just whatever journey you're on, is to really connect and grow those relationships.
Amazing. And guys, all the listeners, you all are aware that who have been following me on my podcast, I'll be putting out Amberly's web links as well as the pre-sales of, and you have just heard what is there in store. So not only this book, what I have read about it and what I've known about it is that it can be very much life transforming. But along with it, you're getting some goodies to get in more joy into your world. And as they say, what a friend we have in Amberly. She has gone through it, so she can have your back. You can reach out to her, and she or her team will reach out back and say, okay, let's do it in this particular way and see how it is. But what really matters is that it is a lesson which we all can take pages out of and grow from here. So, Amberly, just being mindful of the time, is there anything that you would like to tell the listeners as we close the session? You can take your time on that one.
Oh, yeah. I just want you to know that you can build upon the joy. I think that pain, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, pain's pain, and you can have pain and joy. I mean, they can coexist, but it's our choice to build upon the joy, that joy is possible despite setbacks, despite failures, despite really big challenges, and that we have the resilience within us. And it comes from, again, deep within us and the support around us. And I would say if you can take anything from, listening to this episode today, is just to don't do it alone. I thought that I just had to grit it out and suck it up and do it on my own. And what I've learned is grit without connection is resistance. It feels like clawing your way up to the top. It feels like
Mhm.
hitting roadblocks or rock bottom. It can be detrimental to your health mentally and physically, but grit with connection, that's where you truly find resilience. So reach out, see how you can connect, see how you can serve, see how you can help someone else, because that's where true fulfillment really comes.
Beautiful. Amazing. And guys, I know that I've got some comments at times or direct messages that it's easy to say for people to create a community, but then there are times wherein people feel alone. They feel absolutely blank. They do not know where to turn to. There is always, always, if you really turn around, if you really look around, there is always a hope. And never give up on that particular hope that there will be somebody. But you need to believe and, of course, you have got within yourself the resilience to rise. We can talk about Amberly. We can say that, oh, well, you know what? She comes from a pretty great background, dancer, Nike model, poster child for many of the things which is happening around. But hey, she had the accident. She lost practically everything in it, including money was coming in. Absolutely no. They had to scrape from the buckets. But they believed they can come back. And she's a walking, talking example of what resilience is all about. So, Amberly, with this, I would like to conclude today's session. Thank you so